Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again in this bi-monthly session of Beyond Connections, where you can ask anything about the stock market, and especially today. I hope you are alive and kicking, just like the market today. And to start things off, PSE ended at 6,850 today, and it's actually been at the highs, nearly at the 52-week highs. But we are at the, strongest point so far in 2024, and I guess that's a pretty good start for the year. And
Before we go further, let's introduce ourselves.
oh yeah.
So I'm Bess, one of the analysts for Africa Securities, and
Hi, I'm Rainier, and I'm also one of the analysts.
I'm Isaiah. I'm going to show you some very good charts today to the technicals.
And we're excited to see all of that. And before all of the discussion, let's say hi to our viewers. So earlier I saw some names. Hi, Miss
Good afternoon.
Mohamed. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone.
Oh, Tokyo.
And
I'm watching from Tokyo.
I cannot read this,
I
but
can. Ken. It reads Ken.
okay.
Ken.
Hello,
Hello, Ken. Hello, Monette. Sige, while we wait for your questions, why don't you show us one of those wonderful charts that you were
wonderful
using
chart.
earlier?
So, the most wonderful chart in the longest time is the index itself. It's pakita chart.
Ayun.
Let's show the chart of the index. There you go. After breaking the 6,300 level, it's finally going up. It's testing the upper end of the band. So nice momentum going. Hopefully it will pull back and there will be buyers closer to the support levels at 6,700 to of course 6,600. So the market is looks very viable and the longer term trend has turned up. Yeah. So what has been have there been catalysts for why the market has been going up? Rainier Invest.
I think it's partly because of the slew of corporate profits that we have seen. This is not yet the majority of the earnings reports that we will see for the full year and or the fourth quarter, but generally they've been within or even slightly above expectations. Also, uh, GDP print was fairly decent. This was announced couple of weeks ago, and also inflation rates have decreased significantly, so that would be good for consumer spending. So far, good news, all good news on that economic front, more or less. What about you, Rain?
And I guess I think it's about time that we've seen uh, some reversal of the downturns. I think we've seen 4 straight years of the PSEI being down since the pandemic began. And I think we're starting to rally mainly because of what Beth mentioned and as well as cheap valuations for the index in general. So we are seeing some strength. But for our regional peers, we're about I think fifth or sixth. Other markets are performing as well, and given that where we have performed over the past years, I think we still have some room to go up, especially given how valuations are looking so far. So, I guess based on the chart I see, what are your thoughts? If I guess is it time um, to take profits, or is it a good time to buy now, or is it still a good time to buy now?
So based on the index, it looks like it's for those who are more active. You're probably looking to lighten some positions, some stocks that are on the overbought side. Um, Hopefully, if the market pulls back to maybe 6, 6, 7, 6, 6, we probably add back those positions to the stocks you're already holding.
All right, thank you for that, IC. And I think we have been seeing a lot of names that are trending towards its 52-week highs. And I guess what about you, Wes? What particular names are you looking at currently?
Um, yes, I'm more keen on our list of topics, and if you're a client, you would know already what the list of what those stocks are. We have seen some of them already move towards our target prices, but they're not there yet fully, and we see also some room for upgrades for some of them. Since we're public, I'm not sure I can give you all of those names. So, but uh, s- these are a lot of them are blue chip stocks, but there are also some that are non-index names. So open an account with MyTrade to
Yeah.
see our top picks list.
All right, thank you so much for that, Bess, and we are excited to show you or share to you our top picks. So I guess we can move on to our list of questions. So first we have LB De La Cruz, technical analysis po. Okay, there's a bunch of names: Converge, ICT, Monde, GT Cap. Up to you, IC, whichever you want to start first.
Converge. Okay. Haven't seen Converge in a while. Let's have a look.
Okay, show the chart.
Let's have a look at the chart. Converge. Okay. So for the Converge bulls, it looks like it's already completed a bullish falling wedge. So you're just waiting for. You're just basically waiting for it to clear this 1032 resistance. It's gonna probably form a double bottom there. So you have two bullish things going for it. You have a bullish falling wedge, which came all the way from September 2022. And then you have a smaller pattern here, which started in July 2023. It's going to form a double bottom. So it's the technical picture is starting to get better. It's going to probably reverse soon. Again, with a break above 1032. ICT demand is. Oh, wait, did you want to add on Converge? Oh, sorry, Monday. So just because so ICT.
Maybe just to add on Converge a
Okay,
little,
Converge.
but not on the fundamentals. One of the reasons why uh, is it's fallen down in the past year was the danger that it would be removed from the index. But our latest calculations show that that's not a big possibility in the near future. So that's one of the things that was removed for that stock.
All right, thank you for that, Bess. And I think we're moving on to the next.
Okay, ICT quickly.
Okay, 3 more to go.
It's a little bit extended in the short term, but it's still technically looking like a buy the pullback, maybe closer to the 50-day moving average. But in the short term, it looks extended. Any comments?
We're actually bullish on this and recently upgraded our target price. We are looking at better earnings for ICT this year, since there are some expected tariff increases for a few of their major ports. And also, we are hopeful to see some volume growth this year, um, despite the risks to global trade from some geopolitical conflicts. ICT is fairly uh, diversified against those risks because it has a lot of ports all over the world, and none of them are directly impacted by, for example, the issues in the Red Sea, or even the continuing Russia and Ukraine war.
Okay. And Rainier stopped.
Okay.
So Monde easily made a golden cross. So nice base here. The projected target of the inverted head and shoulder is about 14. Do you want to add in question doon kay Elijah? Why is Monday a buy despite negative?
Okay, yeah, I think we can address this question. So, good day, my trade team. Why is Monday a buy despite negative income? Thanks. Uh, I'd like to clarify. I'm not sure what it means, pero Monday has been earning naman. I guess what you may be referring to is for 2022, it recorded a net loss of about 20 billion, and this is because of a one-time reversal of some of its intangible assets, but it's not really connected to its cash or basically its net income levels, but more of some of the intangible assets for its meat alternatives. So it remains to be a buy because of particularly its strong growth numbers coming from its APAC or Asia Pacific business. So the noodles, the biscuits, so basically Lucky Me and Skyflakes, they've been performing pretty much better than expected, outperforming its peer and URC. That's why we continue to prefer Monday. And we are expecting a stronger fourth quarter when it releases in about a month or so. And 2024 is looking good as well. Yeah, especially with margins improving, with raw materials prices continuing to normalize.
Monday's a
That's-
tough pick this year.
Uh, that's a good question, I see.
I know.
And I guess for some of our viewers,
and see our topics list.
Only Monday.
But do you think Monday will benefit from rising rice prices since it's somewhat substitutable with noodles?
yeah, so far I think when we compare the trends, it is starting to show some patterns that, and even historical numbers as well. It is seeing some, I guess, trends or patterns that, or an inverse relationship that when rice prices are rising, sorry, direct relationship that when rice prices are rising, so people start to look for alternatives such as noodles since it is more of the cheaper alternatives in the market.
Okay, next
So
question.
I think there was one last stock among that list,
GT.
GT Cap.
That's okay. Sounds good.
Okay, while IC's pulling up the chart, best you can share.
We are also bullish on GT Cap. This is mainly because of its Toyota Motors Philippines subsidiary. We are expecting further recovery in car sales since a lot of demand for cars was delayed because of the pandemic. We are seeing increased motorization of the population. So we are hopeful for further growth in vehicle sales for GTCAP. And also we are expecting Metro Bank to still be supportive of the NAV for GTCAP. And also I believe their property unit still has some land sales to book this year, although not as big as it was in previous years, so there should be some gains on that end as well.
So in the short term, GT cap, again, you can see it's a little bit extended. It appears to the upper channel. If you missed it and you're looking to add or initiate positions, probably closer to 636 retracement to 616.5. So I think it will pull back a bit.
Okay, thank you for that, IC. I guess we can move on to the next question. I guess giving chance to others as well. From Ken. Can read it now. So why URC has by far the most heavily sold by foreigners? Actually, I'm not so sure if it is one of the if it's the most heavily sold by foreigners, but it's one of the reasons as well for URC being unfavorable is because its recent earnings in third quarter it has seen some weakness, and it is coming from I guess it's an impact of its price increases that is destroying some of its demand with consumers tightening their budgets. So since its portfolio is a lot more on the discretionary side, so for example, um, chocolate snacks, candies, and things like that. Maybe people are starting to uh, eliminate some of their budget out of those products. So that's why it has seen some weakness. But management is doing some, I guess, some changes into their mix, and we should see more of it in the fourth quarter and in 2024. So that's, I guess, one of the reasons why it hasn't moved compared to its index members, its other index members. ERC remains to be, I guess, on the weaker side. It's underperforming the index so far. Okay. Next question. Okay, Bess, you can choose.
Uh, see, let's get the question from Annie Lin, technical analysis for FCG. And why is
FCG?
Meg not moving?
Wait.
Why is Meg not moving?
Tell me why.
Okay, Ms. Annalyn, thank you for your question. I think you're also one of the frequent viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Tuning in. So,
Okay, now we see FCG.
chart of FCG now. Let me just try to zoom in. So, FCG would need to get above the 0.69 resistance level. You can see the horizontal bar here. See where most of the volume has been traded. So if the price can get above this level, it would likely ease the selling pressure, as most people will become less, say, impatient with the price action. So get above 69 cents and hopefully find support back at 69 cents would be a bullish price. Would be the bullish price action for FCG. Until then, it's pretty much trading in a wide range, but for the most part sideways.
Thank you for that, IC. So,
Welcome, you're very welcome in here.
and if I may add on FCG, I think a lot of the overhang coming from the stock is some developments. It is planning an FOO, possible FOO. We're not so sure yet whether if it will push through this year, but since they have finished their IPO funds, they are looking at possible fundraising activities in order to fuel their store network expansion, especially for Angel's Pizza. So that may be one of the reasons why FCG hasn't really moved as much, especially if we consider a lot of positive news coming from their end, particularly on earnings. Uh, Going back, I think there was a question on Meg, but unfortunately, our analyst for the property sector is not here. But
We can
Ms. Annalyn, I think we can get back to you on that.
Or
But
let's look at the chart.
yeah,
Or why not?
yeah, for now we can look at the chart.
And while you're pulling up the chart, you can also say that Meg has a big share of its revenues from office leasing, and which this segment of the property sector has not yet recovered, and it's not looking like there will be any recovery anytime soon. And also, property the influx of tourists or the recovery in tourist arrivals last year and the expected increase this year as well has already uh, benefited other property stocks. But for Meg, their share of hotel revenues to their total revenues is not as big. So if you would like to go into property stocks, it would be better to look into other names in that sector.
Right. So on the technical front, it's very obvious that prices have just been moving sideways. If it gets back above 203 on at least above average volume, maybe it could be a change in sentiment for the stock. But until then, it looks like it's just range bound between 195 to 202. That's it.
Thanks so much, IC. And I think after being deleted from the index, I guess Meg has really trended downwards, being unfavored. I guess you can move on to the next question. What about from Jonas Cyril Guizon? What's your take on URC buyback URC has been doing much of its share buyback ever since, especially to support its prices continuing to be depressed. Although for buybacks, generally naman, it's positive that company is buying back shares, especially to boost shareholder value. But I guess some caveat or take uh, something to consider as well. As URC, these are the owners, so I think their time horizon, especially for these buybacks, are much longer, especially compared to us investors. So that's one consideration as well, that they are holding URC basically forever until you know until they are still continuing operating URC. So something to consider, especially for us investors. Then next, Vesican.
Um, from your bill, upwards last. From your bill, your take po on GMA 7. Maybe we can also see the chart for this, but while waiting for that to be pulled up, GMA 7 over the past couple of years has been kind of a dividend play since it benefited from taking market audience share and advertising market share from the loss of its main competitor, and also from election related ad revenues in 2022. But this will no longer be a big part of revenues for this year and also last year, on which the dividend rate will be based on for its dividend payout this year. So we are expecting that the dividend for GMA 7 will be much lower. The ones that will be paid out will be much lower this year. So if you're still looking at that as a dividend play, maybe look at other stocks. Also, aside from that, it's also facing higher production costs, which will also be a burden to earnings.
Can you show the chart again? Since we have discussed
Just one
it.
quick one. So GMA 7, the price action is basically decent consolidation, but for the most part, it's trading sideways to down. So they're probably easier stocks to trade in the market at this point in time. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. But if you are looking to position for its dividends, maybe now's a good time, especially since they usually announce the dividends about end March to April. So I guess when they announce, it's usually kicks some of it. Yeah. So next, can we move on to the next question? Oh, there are a lot of questions.
From Facebook user, unfortunately, we don't have your face or name. Are you heading back towards 75K? Our target actually for the end of this year is a little bit higher than that. Hopefully, we do reach that. Maybe once the BSP starts cutting rates, and bond yields come further down late in the later part of this year. Um, More liquidity will flow from the bond market to the equities market, and we may see that happening, heading back towards the higher 7,000 levels.
Okay.
On a technical basis, do you see that as a possible target this year, I think?
Or will it be hard to reach?
Well, I haven't really thought of it, but let's see recently.
Okay, I guess you can show the chart again. PSEI.
Well, in the near term, at the moment, I cannot derive a target for the index, but the bullish case is that we already have the golden cross. It's in a primary uptrend, so all dips should be bought technically. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does reach 7.5s, the target by the end of the year.
Okay, next question.
Okay, thank you for that. I see. I guess we can move on to the next question. Sorry.
Um,
Right. Okay. Oh, I guess we can take a look at coming from LB De La Cruz again. So Bloom, SEC, and DMC. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to see
Yeah, unfortunately,
So we'll just do the
our
rest.
analyst for these stocks not with us today, but we can show the chart.
So Bloom is trading at the upper end of the range. Currently at resistance here, 1206. So good news is primary trend is turned up. Try to buy at support closer to uh, about 1074. So now that the primary trend is turned up, all dips should be considered but better than that. What's your mind?
Although for Bloom, I think for this year, it is expecting the opening of Slur North. So a lot of its operating expenses from that operations is likely to come in as well in 2024 earnings. So since it is at the beginning stages, early stages, we should see some, I guess, what do you call it, birth pains that uh, while we while we are seeing the operating expenses balloon already, but revenues, on the other hand, might not yet be there, especially in its early years or early period of operations. So it's something to consider for Zoom. That's why we prefer to come in at lower levels. Next, we
Next
have
is
SEC.
Semirara. Semirara is pretty much just range bound between 2875 support and 3640 resistance. So just trade the range for now.
Yeah.
Try to sell at 630, 640, and
Okay, thank you for that, IC. So
Thank you, sir.
SEC, I think so far a lot of its plays or I guess movement has been derived from its dividends, especially it is giving out twice a year dividends, which I guess in past years it was based a lot on coal prices. Then from last year, it has maintained its dividend payouts, which is coming from a stronger power segment from SEC. However, for this year, we might uh, I think our view on this is it will likely have a more difficult time in maintaining its high payout ratio, which will in turn think about it will have a harder time to give the 350 per share that it has been giving over the past four cycles. So for this year, something to watch out for, especially as mentioned earlier, they usually announce it come late March or early April, so it's something to watch out for and something to consider as well as what IC mentioned on its technicals.
yes, and that the reason behind that the possible difficulty in maintaining its payout ratio is that coal prices have decreased recently, and also there is a trend of mm, uh, more environmentally friendly power sources, and many countries are turning away from coal and more into alternative sources of energy.
All right, thank you so much, Bess. And last is DMT. I think you can show the chart for
currency,
DMC.
LP.
Show the
DMC.
chart for DMC. So for that,
Yes.
okay, while you fix the chart, I see for DMC it's also pretty much the same for SEC since it is an affiliated company where its dividends have been reliant as well on SEC. So I think pretty much the same outlook coming from SEC and DMC. Again, if you are looking into position, although we have some recent uh, new, I guess, rumors that is affecting DMC prices, as mentioned by LB de la Cruz in relation to CHP. In case you missed it, there have been rumors since I think since Tuesday, actually. Prices have moved, especially for CHP, since there have reportedly been talks about DMC acquiring a stake on CHP, but there are no definitive uh, details yet, and something to again watch out for, something to uh, anticipate, especially if you have these stocks.
Also for TNC, there was news a few days ago that Maynilad is um, in the beginning stages of possibly doing its own IPO, and this will be positive for DNC since a few years ago they were considering selling their stake in Maynilad, so it's possible that they could be a seller once that does its IPO. And if that happens, it will be positive for TNCs now. Although we'll have to wait and see for that to come to fruition.
So on the technical front, it appears that there's been a double bottom that's formed here, but it would need to take out excuse me 10 pesos 92 cents with a bit of conviction, so above average volume. Until then, I would consider this range bound between the range of 9 pesos to 10 pesos 92 cents. So depends on the volume that comes in from the buyers.
All right, thank you so much, IC, and not so sure if we still have time for one last question.
Earlier, I think there was a question on tech and tech warrants. Just want to remind those that are still holding the tech W. They are about to expire, so maybe you should get rid of that in your portfolio soon. It's very far from the strike price anyway. Maybe this will be the last question for today on a technical perspective on PLC.
PLC, excuse me, excuse me. PLC is trading. PLC is so let's see chart.
Okay, control.
PLC is trading in a very clear ascending channel. May want to lighten as it goes higher towards 75 cents to 80 cents, and then try to buy it back closer to the 50-day moving average. Basically, just trade the range. Has a high dividend yield, this
Yeah.
PLC.
Actually, PLC remains to be one of the. I mean, it remains to be a dividend play, as we've seen in the past years, and I think it's coming payout. I think the expectation is it has been giving, I think, 0.05. It is expected to increase its payout come March or April again this year. So I think that's also one of the reasons why it's trending upwards. Apart from the news on one of its subsidiaries in Lotto being the operator of the e-Lotto, so there are some positive developments on the stock, but I think a lot of it will still be coming from its payout. I think its yield currently is about a bit above 7%, so it continues to be attractive, especially for those looking for dividend plays.
And the other step.
Yes. And I guess one last chart for today.
One last chart.
Thank you, IC, for reminding us.
So tech is coming off probably an oversold condition here. At best, all I can see is a counter trend rally towards a higher resistance level. So it's a sell on rally in the short term. Yeah, resistance probably about 222 pesos.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that,
Thank you
Icy.
so much.
And I think that wraps it up for our session today. And I guess speaking from the three of us, we thank you everyone for tuning in today. And hopefully you continue to monitor and trade in our market today, especially given its recent strength. And hopefully it continues. And I think that's all for today. Have a happy weekend, everyone.
Happy
Happy
weekend.
Chinese
Happy
New
Chinese
Year.
New Year.